Hello and welcome to IGN Overclocked episode. I have 23 in my notes, not sure if it's correct. However, my name is...
possibly 23.
Sure. My name is Mitch Dyer. I am one of your hosts, joined by Alana Pierce.
Hey. What's up?
All right. Feeling good. And Chloe Red.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back. Welcome, everybody.
Yay.
Dan is missing. I have literally no idea where he is.
I heard he died.
We lost him.
Die.
Is that true?
Sorry. No, he didn't die.
We have a Vive in the office.
We do.
I'm so
it's
excited.
Very exciting.
I'm so excited.
I finally used one last week for the first time. It is incredible.
The Vive is, I feel like, hardware-wise, objectively the best.
I don't know how any VR competes with room scale. Like, it is actually life-changing in terms of what the possibility is for games.
I mean, Vive is technically a combination of AR and VR, right? In that you can see the room.
Yeah, but it's all digital. It's not like a projection of your room. It just sort of understands the space you're in.
Yeah.
But
so
still being able to move
manipulate
around is so important, like in 3D
Totally.
space. Like I thought when I used it was previously called the Morpheus, right? But the
Sure.
Sony's VR, I used the two PlayStation Move wands, and I thought that was really important to be able to use your hands. But like the HTC Vive's controllers are so
good.
much better.
Yeah. And they have like the double click like a mouse, and they have the touchpad. Like
The touchpad's really
so many
great.
things you can do.
Yeah.
And I think the touchpad has a lot of buttons on each of the edges as well. Like, I almost feel like a fighting game would work with those controllers super
Oh
easily.
my god, a VR fighting game?
I wonder how
That'd be
would
so
work.
good, a VR
Oh
brawler.
my god. So
Like, you could just sit in the audience and watch while you're fighting. I like
Yeah.
that.
I like that.
That's good.
So far, the demos that we have, basically we have everything that I've ever played in a smaller capacity. So we have like the Portal demo, and we have the Dota demo, and we have a Job Simulator demo.
I haven't tried the Dota demo yet.
It's really cool.
That sounds
like,
awesome. What is it, Secret Shop?
Favorite thing, yeah, it's the Secret Shop. My favorite thing is that Marty, who hates Dota 2, is like super into it. He loves the demo. He walked in when I was doing it. He's like, "Oh, it's a Secret Shop. I love the Secret."
But I mean,
good.
I imagine that the Secret Shop would effectively look like a shop in some kind of Fable universe.
Yeah, what is it? I'm not...
Right, it's not like when I heard that it's a Dota 2 demo for VR. I assumed like, oh, cool, like you'll watch a multiplayer game and something, right? But it's like no, it's you're in one room, and it's basically like a better version of the Secret Shop in that world. So the shopkeeper comes in, he's animated, and he's like, "Hey, what's up? Oh, you take this light bulb, and you can look at the Secret Shop with the light because it's really dark." Mm-hmm. And as you do that, you sort of just explore this open space and look under benches and stools, and you find like, "Oh, cool! Like there's some power treads down there. There's a hyperstone on the wall. There's a blink dagger. And when I approach it, it blinks away." And
yeah, so gameplay-wise, it has nothing to do with Dota.
nothing. It's
right,
all
it's
in
just
that
so similar to the Aperture Science thing.
Yeah, where it's
Yeah.
just
kind
it's
of a
the
walk
world.
through, yeah. Like, but that's still so it's such an amazing experience though. Like, even doing the most mundane things in VR,
I loved the
is so
Portal
fun.
demo.
Like, I played Job Simulator.
Job Simulator is great.
Yeah, I had so much fun just like filling up a coffee cup and dumping it on electronics and
Yeah.
like throwing stuff over the cubicle.
And
like,
it's really cool that they account for that. Like there is writing in the game to account for all the stupid stuff you can think of.
We actually
Like, it
got a comment
responds
on
to it.
our Vive unboxing where someone was like, "Why would you want to play Job Simulator? That's so stupid." And like,
That's the
it's-
point,
you don't-
dude.
you
It's
don't
not
understand.
though. It's actually really great, and I don't actually know why it's great, but it is.
Well,
it's
funny
like,
because it's supposed to be this
you do
mundane.
paperwork and
Yeah.
it's super fun.
I love how much the game jokes about the mundanity of work too. Like your mouse pad
Yeah.
is like, "I love job."
Yeah,
things like
I love
that. Like
miscellaneous
work is the
job.
best.
The Portal one, I probably had like the strongest reaction to because
Same.
that's just like it felt like I met characters from Portal.
Yeah.
and that was really cool.
It's just cool to
it
be
looks kind of scary.
when
Yeah.
when
Atlas
GLaDOS
and-
comes
and-
down and
Oh
she's-
yeah, that part.
That
She's
was the
like-
best part for me.
She's so huge, like way bigger than you think. And then Atlas or Peabody or whoever comes walking through the door,
Atlas.
like I literally walked out of the way.
yeah.
So I was like, "You're
Yeah,
scary."
I did too. I actually squealed. There's like video footage of me screaming at that. But it's so nice to be able to do that stuff in VR because yeah, you totally forget that there's a world outside of what you're seeing. So
Yeah.
it feels like you're meeting
Except
them.
when you don't, right? Because the problem, and we've talked about this on the show before, is like the cords coming out of the top of your head are a big
Yeah.
problem. And here I had to have Brian Malkowitz on our video team to sort of like babysit me the whole time.
Yeah, so this is like the first time that anyone I know has experienced Vive outside of a controlled environment.
It's on our terms. It's
How
in our
different is that?
office. It's very similar because in the end, you still need like someone to look after you. You still need a certain amount of space to move around safely. There's still cables everywhere.
Yeah.
But the problem becomes like, okay, if something goes wrong, you just have to stop and wait for someone to fix it. You could conceivably take the headset off, but it's like, okay, headphones off, headset off, fix the problem on the PC, set it all up. Is it fixed? No. Do it again. Whereas I could, by myself, or with Brian, be like, hey, this thing's problematic. Okay, it's fixed. Cool. And we just proceed.
Yeah,
So
'cause
VR
that
became like a
you would-
weirdly
you would
cooperative
stop-
experience.
Yeah, you would stop really, really quickly if you had to take it off every single time you had to fix something.
Totally.
That kind of sucks. Is it off-putting for you though? You played for like an hour and a half.
Like 90
today?
minutes. Yeah, I love it so much that.
So you didn't want to stop.
No, I don't think that those problems are enough to be like, oh, it's definitely not worth $800 or your time. Like, absolutely not. It's a phenomenal experience that I cannot wait to see what this is in a year from now.
About playing Tilt Brush.
Tilt Brush is
Tilt
so
Brush
cool.
is really cool. Like the possibilities for like performance art almost.
Yeah, I think I might just like stay late on Friday and build some cool stuff in that. Like,
oh, I'm super down for that. Absolutely.
So exciting.
The immersion is so real that like I was actually when I played it, I was afraid to try a demo called The Blue, I think. Right? It's like a deep
I did The Blue.
sea. Yeah. So like deep sea stuff is like my actual phobia, and I did not want to play it. And like as I was taking the headset off, the guy who's in charge of the computer like put it on, and I freaked out and like
it actually made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it's weirdly
I don't
unsettling.
think people realize like we see horror as a genre that's going to be really big for VR. I don't think people know what they're getting into.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
There
because like even The Blue, you were just like standing on a boat, like the deck of a boat.
Yeah,
and you, just
you don't
look
even
out
really
into the ocean.
do anything.
There's nothing, and then I was there, and
whale.
Marty was watching me while I played it, and he was like, "You can walk around, look around," and I was like, "I really don't want to." I was like, I was really tense,
like a big
just
blue
like,
whale like flies
yeah,
over you.
I screamed at the whale. Also, like it's
Stingrays flying by.
It's really
No.
unsettling, and you could like do a lot of really interesting stuff. Like one thing I feel like I remember reading a blog post on was talking about simulating you as a homeless person effectively.
Whoa.
So you would be a homeless person and you would try and interact with people, but literally everyone would ignore you or look at you and not say anything to you, and how that feels.
The first Indiecade that I went to when the Oculus Rift was people were first starting to get dev kits and stuff. I saw a demo. I don't remember what the game was called, but it's this company that makes empathy games, and they made something. It was like it emulates the bystander effect or something, like during a real life incident of police brutality, where like you're in that scene and you're watching that and you're getting to see that up close.
It's much worse in VR than it would be just over video.
Yeah,
for sure.
people don't like, unless you've experienced it, you don't know how real it feels.
Yeah, which is like, I hadn't even thought about how, I feel like a lot of the games that will get developed will be like classic horror. Like we'll probably see some kind of adaptation of Slender.
Yeah.
Even, but
I so do not want that in my life. The PlayStation
I'm
VR
so
demo.
scared.
What's that thing called?
Wait.
The PlayStation VR demo.
The kitchen.
The kitchen.
The kitchen.
I don't want that. I haven't done it, and I don't want to do it because
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
the only one I haven't done.
like there's something, especially in Vive, right? Like if I'm in Oculus, it's a very different conversation because if I'm using an Oculus or a PSVR, I am sitting in my seat, I'm stationary, and I have a gamepad or the Oculus Touch controllers. So in that regard, I know where I am. And you can still do super effective stuff to someone who's seated while doing VR. Like I did a Far Cry 3 Oculus demo where it's that trailer where Voss is like screaming at Jason and he's tied down and he's like gets kicked over the edge. And it is weirdly unsettling to be kicked off a cliff while sitting in a chair. So you can do it and it can be effective and that's still terrifying. But to be in a room scale VR experience where you are navigating a space and looking for something to jump out at you and then like physically recoiling when that does, like my demo had a bug earlier today where I tilted my head and it got freeze framed and my brain shut off. It was like, something is very wrong. We are going to fall down now. And I almost fell down because it's just like your understanding of space and positioning is so wrecked. So to have horror, like that is the most horrifying thing I can imagine is a horror
they'll
game
do
in
that
VR.
kind of stuff, like
Somebody absolutely will.
like mess with your or give you motion sickness intentionally.
Your mess with your actual senses.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I feel like that's like not even okay. Like,
yeah, that sounds unhealthy almost.
Well, yeah, because
like,
that's real
it's-
world. But
yeah.
I mean, I think VR does mess with your senses really intensely, even if it doesn't mean to. Like,
yeah. Well, to the point like somebody
like with eye
walked in.
tracking,
Yeah.
if it's done improperly.
But it was to the point for me today, like somebody walked in while I was doing the demo, and I could hear people walking in and talking, and I had headphones on, and I was focused on the game, and I could hear people talking about it. And then I turned, and like I felt somebody brush against my shoulder, and they were like, "Haha, I wanted to see how close I could get to it." I'm like, "That is not okay. Like this is not how this works.
Yeah.
Please don't do that."
that's just really mean.
It's very
You're
invasive
almost
in a
hyper
weird,
aware of
unsettling
your
way.
personal space. Yeah, even
Yeah.
in the virtual setting.
Because you're not there. Like you don't
Yeah.
feel like you are in
Well,
the IGN
you're trying to
office.
tell yourself that you're not in that digital world, but you feel like you are. And then when you're like whipped back into reality,
It's almost
scary.
it's weird to be in VR for that long. Come back, like everything in the real world just feels a bit off.
yeah.
Like the first time I used Vive and I came back, I was
true.
like, my hands feel wrong, man. Like it
Yeah.
was a very strange
I
feeling.
wonder what the first like negative side effects of VR are gonna be. like
someone's
News
how
will tell you.
how they're gonna be classified, like Matrix syndrome or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know there's a
man.
huge issue with people not being able to tell the time when they're in VR, so they don't understand how much time has passed.
Whoa.
Which, like, it's you just
Okay.
because of the way that whatever the narrative you're immersed in is evolving, it means that you just believe that and you're not aware of time consciously outside of that. And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
People could get stuck in VR.
I feel like that's possible. I don't feel like yes, it's more immersive than games because it's physically all you're seeing and being part of, but I don't feel like it feels any less like a game.
I mean, I feel like
To me.
For some people, maybe some people who are more easily can fall into that hole, you know?
And
Yeah.
people who are more, it's like like hypnotism, like just be open to it, man.
Yeah. VR as therapy is going to be interesting too, like exposure therapy for phobias.
I'm
like
gonna do
if
I don't want that though.
man.
I don't want to. I acknowledge that it would be amazing. I don't want to sit.
yeah. There was that one VR horror game that got kickstarted called Nevermind. That
Yeah.
it's supposed to learn your fears and introduce them
Don't want
slowly
that.
or something like that.
hate
like,
that. I don't want VR therapy
I
where I
don't
have to
want
hang out with a bunch of
spiders.
bees.
I don't want that either.
I hate
There'd be
bees.
spiders everywhere
Yeah.
for mine. That would be terrible.
I would be stuck at the bottom of the ocean. There's already a game about that, Narcosis. Yay! I could
Oh,
not
God,
play
yeah.
that at E3. Could not do it.
Really?
No. Had the headset on for like a second. This was the,
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
the-
VR
the
game
Oculus
as well.
Like,
I've heard
nah,
of
man.
that.
Yeah, this was
They're
the
like-
Oculus Rift. Like, it's funny because I think I could play it on a screen. You know, like I got through Soma okay, even though the ending was, nope. But yeah,
How do you feel about Bioshock then? Does that bother you too?
but Bioshock's kind of okay because you're inside. You know,
Yeah.
but Soma, there's this whole sequence where you have to like. You're at the bottom of like the Mariana Trench or something, and you're walking through like pitch black, and there's all these like demon eels or something. Like
Demon eels.
you go, oh my god, you go
my
through
favorite
this tunnel,
sushi.
and it's you go through this tunnel full of like crab spiders, and I'm just like,
Yeah, that sounds bad.
yeah, in
But
VR I would die.
On the flip side of that, I think there's like really positive ways therapy can be used, and I'm also just for some reason I really want my grandma to try VR, and I really want her to like go to Paris or something.
Dude, when we're old, it's
Yeah.
gonna be so cool to have the most advanced ER.
ER.
When we're in the ER,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, visit Paris or like be on a beach and
Touristy stuff is the thing that appeals to me the most, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like less, like it's not even conversion therapy. It's like, okay, I just need to like shut off for a while. Like I'm feeling bad. I'm in a bad place. I just want to like go to a beach.
Yeah.
And you just sit there and your VR experience is literally you're in a lawn chair and you're holding a book.
This is
And
getting
that's
pretty
it.
real, but like, you know, things like euthanasia. Someone
Yeah.
like, where do you want to be when you die?
Oh,
you could simulate that. in
God,
VR.
that is
But then
amazing.
on the flip side of that, have you seen that Black Mirror episode with the grains?
The grains.
The note that I'm on here is like if you could record stuff and then relive it in
Oh,
VR,
yeah.
so you had some like way
Oh,
of recording things, and
yeah.
then like there's an episode basically where a guy leaves a girl. It's a way of cutting
The
it really
eye
short.
implant thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he keeps repeating their
Yeah.
relationship, and I feel like that would totally happen. Like,
God.
like relationships
That
would
was
be
really
messed up
devastating.
if you
I
could like
forgot about
re-watch things from your life in VR all the time, like from your perspective. Like, it'd be crazy.
Scary. The future's scary.
Yeah, now I'm
Future's really
terrified of
terrifying.
VR.
I like,
Like,
take
get
it
rid of
all
it.
back.
We don't
VR
like
is
get
the
it down.
worst.
Send it back, Mitch. Send it back.
Cool. I actually didn't want to talk about VR for that long, but we did. What I do want to talk about most is that we went to a Microsoft event last week, and they came out kind of swinging with PC in a more meaningful way than they ever have. They've been talking a long time, like, oh, Microsoft's really committed to PC gaming again, but they haven't been. But
Yeah.
now it's like they're partnering with Oculus, and DirectX 12 stuff is starting to really come to bear fruit, and we're starting to see a lot of integration between Xbox and PC gaming. So I'm trying to find some quotes here from one Philip Spencer, head of Xbox, who's talking a lot about.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. So he was talking about just how consoles are going to evolve over time. Like it's with PCs, you know, it's obviously a constantly evolving platform. You can play your Win32 games like Doom all the way up to now with 4K, and it's like that's all cool. That's the only platform you can do that. Xbox is sort of gated at the end of every console generation. Not cool. So they want to find a way to marry those ecosystems in a way that I think is really interesting. But they use a bunch of very boring corporate speak like universal Windows applications on Windows,
God.
universal platforms. The idea being that, hey, when you buy a game, you have that on Xbox and PC. And ideally that means cross-save and cross-buy and cross-play and all of this stuff that would make, hey, PC gaming really awesome, especially if you own an Xbox. And it's really fascinating to me to see them finally come out with all of this while saying, we're going to be committed to the PC gamer. We're all about PC gaming, but only on Windows 10. only if you're a Windows 10 gamer.
Yeah.
And the problem becomes you can gate stuff behind your store. That's totally fine. Like Steam is an exclusive marketplace. It just happens to be huge. You can go to Green Man Gaming, you can go to Origin, you can go to Uplay, whatever. That's fine. Those marketplaces are totally fine on their own to exist.
But they're not gated.
But they're not gated by an operating system. The minute you gate an operating system is like, I literally can't play Forza 6 Apex, which is the Forza 6 game that is now coming to PC. I'm like, man, that means like if Halo comes to PC, I can't play it. I can't play Quantum Break on PC. I can't play Sea of Thieves on PC. So all this is great.
Heck yeah, rare.
I need to be, but I need to build a new machine or get a new operating system to start running these games.
Yeah.
That is like the opposite of embracing PC gaming.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just traumatized by games for Windows Live, so you guys,
So is Phil Spencer.
You guys just let me know how that goes.
True, but I feel like this is, I mean, your attitude is like, I'm limited by having to have Windows 10 is kind of the same as I'm limited by needing an Xbox One to play the next Assassin's Creed game. Like, I view that the same way, and it's just like, it's cheating on their part, but it's also
literally what Phil Spencer's talking about not doing with console hardware. He's gating it behind software. Like
now it's just confusing.
Like okay, so PC is a universal platform, that's great, but the minute you lock it behind an operating system is the minute you that is the exact same to me as a generational shift where I need to buy a new machine.
The thing that makes it specifically evil is that with consoles, when you get a new console, it's because the hardware is better. The operating system has no influence on that. It's like, oh, well, maybe the Xbox 360 can't run Assassin's Creed Unity where the Xbox One can. PC doesn't have that issue. He has no excuse that's like, oh, but it can only run on Windows 10 because it's more efficient. Like, it doesn't work like that.
If something is like rooted in DirectX 12 or relies on certain Microsoft systems, like it needs Live.
I mean, that can happen anyway, though, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there has to be a middle ground, and they're probably going to get there because I feel like they can't. Their PC gaming won't succeed if it is Windows 10 exclusive, if it is Windows 10 Store exclusive.
Yeah, that's totally true. It can't really succeed, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does anyone have Windows 10?
No.
I haven't upgraded yet. I'm waiting till literally the last minute because I just
don't want Windows 10.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a reason to. I like Windows 8. It's been fine for me.
I can upgrade my work machine, but I can't upgrade my home machine for some reason. Like, it just doesn't. It's like, no, you don't qualify. I'm like, I thought they all qualified. Why don't I qualify?
That's really strange.
Don't qualify. So that's super cool. So I should be able to access this, and it wouldn't be a problem, which is because it's awesome that Windows 10 is free.
Yeah.
For anyone with, applicable operating systems.
Yeah.
Except for, I don't know, just me. Like, it's a specifically me problem as far as I can tell. Like, nobody else has this problem. It's just, like, declines. Like,
That's super strange. I've never even heard of that before.
I don't know. I wonder if it's just, like, something to do with the OEM of Windows that I bought back when I built my PC that is like, oh, this kind of version is no.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it just sucks because I want...
That means that you can't play games.
Yeah.
Take that, Microsoft. Have you thought of that?
It sucks because Phil's quote is like, they want to just unite people who just play games. And they want to appeal to the biggest gaming audiences, which is PC. And it's really cool to see them acknowledging that.
Yeah.
Like, they're no longer in denial about who this audience is.
Yeah, people have, like, tried to hide that before to, like, boost the appeal of their consoles. But I also like the idea of if you buy something on Windows games, then you also get it on your Xbox. I think that's great.
I think that is essential.
Especially yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, I'm surprised that wasn't a thing before.
Yeah, well, it's because then they only have to pay for it once, I guess. But so, like, we were just talking about Divinity Original Sin, and that's something that I've had to buy twice at this point. You know, I bought the PC release, and then I had to buy it when it came out on Xbox One later. I did the same thing with Wasteland 2. Like, they're games that I really like and really want to play all the time, but I wanted to try them on both consoles, and it's like I'm buying the same thing twice.
Here's a funny story. I actually had to buy Dark Souls 1 on PC twice because of Games for Windows Live. I forgot my login because it was set to auto login for so long, and then the forgot my password page actually took you to like just 404.
Oh man.
They had no customer support.
Oh man.
So I just had to buy a second key.
That sucks.
So we'll see how all this goes.
Wow. R.I.P.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yep.
But I can picture that happening.
I'm really glad that system does not exist right now. Like, there's nothing like Games for Windows Live right now. It's just Live. It's just Xbox. I think it's just what it is on a machine now.
Yeah, basically.
Like, it's just Xbox Live when you're on a PC.
Yeah. Which, I mean, also has its issues. I'm going to be honest, when I moved to America, I got a new Xbox One, and I don't have my Kinect, and it had the latest update, and I have no idea how to navigate it anymore.
Oh, cool.
Like, when I first got it, if I didn't know where to find something, because the Xbox 360 was way easier, I'd be like, Xbox, go to achievements, and now it just I can't. I have no idea how to
Right.
go to achievements anymore. It just always snaps them and be like, well, I need to connect because I don't know how to navigate this. Don't have those problems on PC.
I wonder what the value of exclusives on PC. Like, people got really up in arms about Quantum Break also coming to PC and Xbox One. Like, as though that compromised the exclusivity of Xbox One, as though it was a bad thing that more people were going to play it, whatever.
That's very strange.
I agree. But I almost wonder if there's a benefit to PC if they look at it like, okay, Xbox and
Exclusive to
PC
PC?
are the same platform. It is Microsoft gaming, whatever.
But then that leaves out like Linux gamers and whatever.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that is also the problem,
Yeah.
is you need Windows in some capacity. But I wonder if there is something of value there that Microsoft sees that we don't.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like, oh yeah, Gears 4 coming to Xbox One and PC, it's like, does that make it a cool PC exclusive, or does it make it just a PC game? I don't know. I think it's going to be an interesting new, like...
What do you mean? Elaborate on that.
Like, if you, like, the perspective right now, right, is if something comes out like Assassin's Creed and it's released on PC and it's like, all right, that's the PC version of Assassin's Creed. If it comes to, if a Microsoft game comes to PC, as though it was originally just going to be an Xbox One game, like Gears, like Quantum Break, like whatever, Crackdown. If Crackdown comes out the same day for PC and it's cross-buy, that makes it a more appealing transaction because you get both.
Yeah.
If you're just a PC gamer who wants to play cool games, do you see
Right.
Crackdown and Gears as like, oh, I've got to get Windows. I've got to get Windows 10. And then that then gets more people on the operating system and more people using their store, which gives them more money.
I
Like, it's a
don't
system
the
that makes
reverse of
sense.
that.
I just
People
don't
who
know.
play Xbox might be like, I'm going to try this on PC, see if it looks better. Like, I bought it on
Right.
Xbox, maybe I'll try it on Windows
Yeah,
10.
I don't think that many people really think about getting operating systems to play a game on. Like
That I agree with.
just because it affects a much larger experience, you know, not just like an operating system isn't just for gaming, obviously. Like if you don't like Windows 10 because it interferes with your work
Sure.
or like other things you do on the computer,
Then you have bigger problems.
Yeah.
Also
I don't know. It's a very weird time for Microsoft, but it's interesting, and I'm excited to see what they do, especially with stuff like Forza Apex, where it's like, hey, it's Forza 6, and it's totally free, and it's a good chunk of the game, and then we're going to add stuff to it probably for money later.
Ooh, I wonder if they're going to monetize with ads.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
That would be the worst. I don't
You're probably
think they'll do
right.
that. No, I mean, the game has microtransactions.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can buy cars, and you can buy currency to accelerate everything. And
And
whatever.
You remember
Forza?
all that drama,
Yeah.
though, with the some solitaire game that had banner ads or something, like, on your desktop?
Was that a thing on Windows 10?
It was from the Windows 10 store.
Lessons learned, I hope.
Oh, I hate that.
So do I.
You have to enter in a CAPTCHA to start your game. And then
What?
just no, I'm just
Oh,
joking.
God.
Jesus
I was like,
Christ. Don't mess with me like that. This is the most terrifying thing I've ever
Why would a bot want to play that
Are you a
game?
bot?
Why do bots want to play Minesweeper?
farming items.
They're too good. Robots are too good at Minesweeper. One of my favorite PC games we're playing, and this is a PC exclusive, is Devil Daggers. Chloe, you reviewed Devil
It's
Daggers.
so good.
It is really good.
You and I played a bunch at my desk. Have you played much more?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been playing a bunch? Me too. I love this dang
I
game.
do too.
So, if we want to explain what it is, it sort of like condenses down that experience of like Doom and Quake, and it even borrows like kind of the look and feel of it too.
Totally.
You can kind of it's an arena shooter, like a first-person arena shooter. You bunny hop around this like horrible demonic abyss while all these like skulls and spiders and just gross stuff come at you.
It all sounds
and
awful.
It sounds awful and amazing, and you just have to survive for as long as possible.
Which isn't long.
It isn't long at all.
It's one-hit kills, and
Yeah.
in the first like couple of seconds, there's already probably 20 things after you. Like,
Right. It is like
It's
all
really
about
hard.
it's all about like just mob management and spatial awareness. Like if you
yeah, you can
don't
fall off the edge.
if you don't take out like that, like, you know, one of the spawners, like as soon as you see him, like you're gonna get overrun in like
Yeah.
a second.
It's
And it's so good.
so tense. The first things that I noticed about this when Mitch showed it to me was, one, the sound design affected me so much. Like,
Yeah.
as
Play it with
soon-
headphones.
Oh my god, totally. It's like the crawly sounds for the things that crawl.
All the like weird, the clicking
Yeah,
of
it's
the
like gross
spider
looking
tentacles.
spider legs
Oh,
and,
like-
and kind of bone cracking.
It's
Like
How much
so
they just like
bad.
things that kind of scream but kind of don't.
Yeah.
Even your like gunshots or whatever you're shooting out of your fingers.
sound great.
yeah, it
like,
just shrieks.
And when they
with,
hit the ground screams. It's like everything
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
this is gross.
It
and-
actually gave me goosebumps, and like
Yeah.
it's horrible, but it's so well done, and it actually like the sound just makes you feel stuff because it's so well done. Like,
I want to play that in VR.
Ugh.
oh man,
No.
But it's
wanna be
also
in that.
just like super intense because there's so much stuff coming at you, and most people only survive like, I don't know, what are your records?
186.
I think I'm like 85.
Well, I'm like 62. So
I mean, that's normal. That's like
62, I think, is when you cross that threshold. Like
I was
60
really
seconds
proud
is
of
when you're
getting
like,
over 60
I'm good.
seconds.
I am good at Devil
I was
Daggers now.
very
I can
proud of
admit
that.
it.
and that's what I love too. Like the first time I played, I survived 30 seconds, and I'm like, I'm never gonna do better than
you
this.
got
never gonna-
30
I'm
seconds
never
the
gonna
first
beat
time
40.
you played.
Like the first time I went, yeah. I don't know why. Is that a lot?
God tier.
Damn it, Chloe!
I don't know.
You're so
actual
good at
goddess.
games. I lasted like 2 seconds,
I
and then
did
the
too.
second time was like 3 seconds.
First thing I did was like, oh, they're coming at me back up.
fall off the edge. Yeah, that was my
Instantly.
But it's like no
Man.
matter your skill level, right? It's like you reach these caps, and you're just like, I'm never gonna improve past this, and then you do, and it's
Yeah.
like the best feeling. Like
But
when
it's
I
never by
passed-
like, oh, but I beat it by like a second. You just like Superman punch through the
even
ceiling.
even if you
by,
do
like,
beat it by
25, 30
1
seconds.
second, you're just like, I'm the
Yeah.
best.
super proud because
Yeah.
every single second of that game is a giant challenge.
Yeah,
There's
and,
no bigger picture. It's all really hard.
And it
all
just
the
gets
time.
more and more hectic. Like
Yeah.
you really have to step it up. And I think right now, like somebody finally passed 600 seconds.
Jesus.
Well, there's also someone at the top of the leaderboards right now is 10,000 seconds, but I think it's a bug because if you go to it, it's just them falling off the edge and then dying.
It sounds like a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if anyone will ever get that. That's crazy.
What is that, like 2-3 hours in the game? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
No way. But what do you think the life of this game is? Like, I really like it. It's something that I've revisited a bunch of times, but how long do you think people will be playing it for?
I mean, I think I'll be playing it for a while. Like, it's funny because the game I've been comparing this the most to is Super Hexagon, just because they are both kind of these frantic high score chasers.
Yeah.
And I played that game for. I mean, I still play it once in a while.
Yep,
you
me
know?
too.
Like,
I play it every time I want to play because I'm like, ugh, I don't have any games on my phone. Oh, I got Super Hexagon.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like
the appeal for me is they're both so easy to pick up and put down, actually. You just,
Right.
You don't have to think about it, pick it up, play it for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And then stop if you want to, because that 3 seconds
and it's
is
the kind
awesome.
of game that's like even when you're not playing it or thinking about it, you're able to go and watch other people play it. Like there's the built-in leaderboards. It has a built-in replay system which works like amazingly. You can just watch anybody's best
I
run.
want every game to have that. I want every game to have what is the best thing my friend has ever done? Let me watch it right now.
It's just especially good for this game because things that feel impossible, I'll then watch someone else do, and I'm like, that's how you do that.
Right.
Because like that's really important because it just has such a high barrier for entry because it's so damn hard.
Yeah.
So I really like watching people in the community and figuring out their approaches to things and kind of like adapting mine based off of that.
Yeah, like I watched somebody on my friends list who was really good at it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like he approaches it this way that I didn't think about. Like he always takes down this thing first, or strafes when he does it, or I'm gonna try that, and you learn new skills that way.
Yeah.
Then you watch like a record run, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I noticed the person who's at the top of the leaderboards right now. They tend to let the skeletons, like they don't shoot the skeletons. They
They
just
let them
kind of
chase them.
Yeah, they let them chase them. And I was wondering why they do that. And I think this is just a theory. I think if you don't kill the skeletons, then the spawners don't spawn more. So
Really?
I think
I don't think. I think they exist as a level design obstruction, as opposed to I don't think they respawn enemies.
Well, no, like the spawners will spawn more, but I think they only do it when
Oh.
you take out the ones that are chasing you. So it's a reason to almost like not
Just
kill.
leave them there.
Just kind of, yeah, you just kind of have to run away from them and take the
Interesting.
spawners
I
out
took that
first.
as being like, I'm not going to kill the little skull things that are chasing me because it's a waste of time when I should be
Right.
taking out the other stuff.
Right, and I think that's
saw
part
it.
of it. But
Yeah.
again, I could be wrong. I don't know. Like that's why I
Interesting.
love this game. It's so simple on the surface, but like the more you watch it, the more like little details and like kind of restraints, you sort of become aware of.
So you reviewed it, right?
I did review it.
What
yeah.
did you give it?
I gave it an 8.5.
Was there anything that like you didn't like about it?
I struggled a lot to come up with a con.
It's too good.
Yeah, like I didn't have anything really too negative in my in my time with it, and I played it for like 20 hours by the time I was done with the review.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No, but like I mean, I had to come up with a con, right? And like the one thing I did say is watching one of the world record runs. When you hit the like 6 or 7 minute mark, the arena gets so overcrowded that it's actually the challenge doesn't seem to be just fighting off enemies. It actually becomes like an issue of having to interpret what's even on the screen because there's just so much.
I I feel like that's a problem early on. Like something appears on screen, you're like, "What is that? What do I do? How do I? I'm dead."
But I mean, that's more of a like, oh, I don't know what the spider
That's
is.
a puzzle. That's a puzzle, as opposed to this, which is like overwhelming.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is more a result of the kind of like jittery polygonal look of the 90s PC games.
Sure.
Yeah. And the guy actually made his own engine too to replicate that.
I think it looks
I think
great.
I love the way it looks.
Yeah.
It's just like later on it might become a bit of an issue, but also like you shouldn't let the arena get that crowded in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. You should be managing it better.
Yeah.
I saw some people online discussing it. I think it was just on Twitter, people saying like the fact that there's only one aspect to it is a flaw. The game is only one thing.
There are no levels.
I don't really think that's a problem.
No, I don't either.
And like if that one thing that the product does very well, and it looks great. It sounds amazing. Yeah. It's very hard. Like I have such an intense emotional response to playing it. Like I think it does everything it does incredibly well. I don't think the fact that it only does one thing is a bad thing.
It is just a very well-designed, compact experience. Yeah. And I don't think because it's compact, it's bad.
Yeah.
Like, things can be small.
So it's $5.
Yeah, it's $5.
$5.
Like, it's $5 and I played it for 20 hours.
Like,
cost like
60
4
bucks.
days.
Like, oh, this AAA title only has one thing that lasts 3 seconds sometimes. I'm like, but it's not. It's something that you're buying for this one great thing. It would be like complaining about buying a Blu-ray DVD and it not having 50 extra features. You're like, it doesn't need that.
Just play the movie.
Just watch the damn movie. It's a really good movie. Devil Daggers. 3 seconds.
I'd watch a Devil Daggers movie. Starring...
I probably wouldn't, to be fair.
These people are getting so good at Devil Daggers, we soon will be.
Yeah.
It'll just be a 90-minute run.
Like, I feel like there has to be a cap at some point where stuff just starts repeating.
I wonder if you can reach, like, a kill screen.
Man,
that would be really cool.
It just can't load any more things for you.
It's just run out. Yeah. Maybe your computer just crashes because eventually there's too many things on the screen.
Oh my god, I just got the best idea. How fun would it be to have like a 2-player arena shooter where like you're the one spawning stuff for your friends to fight?
Oh, that would be cool. And you figure out like, okay, but that's one of those things like, oh, I don't want to be a jerk, but I also want to make it like really challenging. So it's like 2 weird spider clicker things and a couple spawners.
I just immediately think of like Fable Legends and I'm like, well,
at least somebody is.
That game's never going to come out.
Yeah. You'll notice that during the conversation about Microsoft and PC gaming, we never said that game's name. Huh.
Fable
Imagine
Legends?
that.
There's also a BioWare game that got canceled. Shadow Realms. That was a similar kind of thing, right? Where one player could spawn stuff for other players.
There's also the D&D like 4v1 game. What is it called?
Oh, there's also
Sword Coast Legends.
There's also a game called Crawl that's I think it's still in Steam Early Access right now. It's like a 4-player dungeon crawler and 4 or 5 players, I don't know, but one person is kind of the dungeon master. You control all the little enemies in each room and you set traps for your friends.
That's cool.
This game has a 10 out of 10 average rating on Steam.
What does?
Crawl.
Really?
With over 1,500 reviews.
The look is really awesome. Like
I'm super into this. Yeah. It's like 8-bitty, like that particular 8-bit look.
Well, I love that it does like the kind of pixel art, but it's like really, really awesome animations. Like they do a lot with so little pixels, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that genre, the 4v1 thing, I guess, kind of started with Evolve, and then they announced Shadow Realms at Gamescom 2013? 2014 maybe? One of the two. And then it just got cancelled. And it sounded like a really interesting thing. And I feel like it particularly works for PC. Mm-hmm. Like having Devil Daggers with one person who can choose to spawn stuff. Yeah, that'd be sweet as 4v1. I'd play it.
I'd play that. Cool. Devil Daggers. Play it. We love it. Chloe, you got to play something else we're a big fan of, Dark Souls 3. You played how long?
Yeah,
how much Dark Souls?
4 hours of Dark Souls 3.
Jesus.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was real good, you guys.
Shocking twist. Dark Souls 3 is really good.
Really good.
What specifically was good about it?
Yeah, what's
Avoid
the
spoilers.
best thing about Dark Souls 3?
The best thing about Dark Souls 3 is that it is like Dark Souls 1.
Perfect! Yeah. That's all I need to know. In what way? In what ways is it not Dark Souls 2?
Yeah, right? First of all, it looks a lot better. The graphics are amazing. They have a whole new... Better than Dark Souls 2, yeah. They have a whole new lighting system that I could be wrong, but I think they are reusing a lot of assets from Bloodborne. And Bloodborne, as we all know, is gorgeous.
I like that.
That seems legally dangerous.
Well, again, I'm not sure.
Very similar assets.
Yeah. But, yeah, it just looks amazing. The world is... The world feels a lot more like lore-drawn, and I actually think it's because it literally is lore-drawn many years in the future. And I know I'm not really up on my Dark Souls 2 lore, but there's a lot in Dark Souls 3 that is either influenced by or directly taken from Dark Souls 1. I don't know if we want a spoiler warning here.
This is your spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning. There's just a lot. There's Sigurd of Katarina is basically Siegmeyer from Dark Souls 1, the Onion Knight. He makes an appearance. You have the Batwing demons that take you from Sen's Fortress to Anor Londo, make an actual, like, those exact enemies make an appearance in this one. They take you from one level to the next.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, like
I love that kind of stuff.
There's even something from Demon Souls, like the fat officials from Stonefang Tunnel.
What?
There's like kind of like a female version in this one. Huh. It's weird. It's like I know that Miyazaki.
Dark Souls is a pretty long time ago now, right?
2011. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Like I feel like.
Yes.
I think I played Dark Souls and then I played Demon Souls, but I still feel like there is stuff that, if it was in Dark Souls 3, it could give me nostalgia for Dark Souls. Yeah. Like, I think that I could experience that. I
feel like
Dark Souls
had such an effect on me that I definitely, I get that. Yeah. Like, even 5 years or whatever later, like, seeing all of this stuff brought me back to, like, it reminded me why I love this series so much. Yeah. And that's not an experience that Dark Souls 2 gave me. And so
neither. But I still thought that Dark Souls 2 was a really good game.
In different ways.
Different ways. You're right.
Like it's not. It wasn't for me. There are things I liked about Dark Souls 1 that just weren't in Dark Souls 2. One of the most important things being like the interconnected world. Dark Souls 2, like every level kind of felt like just a really pretty hallway. Like,
and then the worlds on the other end of those hallways just felt like they were from a different game. Yeah, none of it felt like, oh, this is definitely from Dark Souls 2. It's like, what?
It didn't feel like there was nothing like. In Dark Souls 2, you'll go from one level to the next, and it didn't feel like, oh, like that makes sense why this area is after this area.
Geographically, this is logical.
Yeah, no. Geographically, or like in terms of lore too. Like it just felt like
Dark Souls was so good at that.
It was.
It's like this burned out thing exists because a dragon. Cool.
I remember this one part in Dark Souls 1 where I just walked through some kind of archway and then died. Like it was just like I walked through an archway and there was just something there that just straight up killed me, and I was like, cool. This is like I love that kind of character in Dark Souls 2. Yeah. Dark Souls 2, I think, maybe took itself more seriously.
I don't have a single memory in Dark Souls 2 like I have of Sen's Fortress.
Yeah.
Like I can still in my mind run through that entire thing.
I played a lot of Dark Souls 2, and I couldn't name you, like I could name you like maybe 2 boss fights, like and I can't even like recollect them, like they're not memorable at all.
Slithering Sludge Heathen.
Spider King. Skeleton King, I think, was one actually.
The Requiem Reaper.
That sounds about right.
The Drunk Dog.
Drunk Dog. There's kind of a drunk dog in Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls boss names are so good.
Yeah.
So some of this is double spoiler, some of the bosses from Dark Souls 1 are returning for Dark Souls 3, right?
Really? I don't think so.
No?
No, where did you hear that?
Did you make up a lie just now?
Marty said it.
Marty's full of lies.
He drinks
that's why Marty's not here right now.
That's true.
He tells lies.
That's true.
That
Marty's
makes sense.
Off somewhere busy lying.
Probably.
Well, actually, let me think about that, because there was actually the soundtrack, the track names were leaked, and I'm not sure if it's correct because it's a leak, but it has all the boss names.
Huh.
And none of them are none of them are familiar except maybe the last one. I won't spoil that if you guys want to go look that up.
Oh yeah, that one's familiar.
Yeah. But there is Firelink Shrine is back. That's the big thing.
Right.
Like
yes,
Firelink Shrine, was the kind of hub area in Dark Souls 1. Even though you can't warp from it immediately like you can in Dark Souls 2 from whatever the hell that was, that area was called, and in Bloodborne with the Hunter's Dream. The Firelink Shrine actually looks a lot more similar to the Nexus and Demon Souls, but where instead of Archstones, you have these giant thrones for all these like gods.
That's cool.
You can't warp from them. You put a bonfire down, and so that's the only thing that's like, this is Firelink Shrine from Dark Souls 1.
So but you played 4 hours. Did you play it just from like
beginning to as long as until they made me stop? Until they made me stop.
It's not really like a preview thing where they like play this select chunk. So on that note, like what's up with gear. Like, I feel like Dark Souls 1 had really, really extensive gear. There was a lot of choices that I had to make, and there was a lot of weird stuff that I came across, which I really like.
Yeah.
Does it have
as
much stuff?
Yeah, in my 4 hours of playing, I picked up a lot of weapons. Not too much armor, but like I was definitely picking stuff up as I went. Like enemies drop stuff like they did in Dark Souls 1, and I guess like they did in Dark Souls 2. But yeah, I mean it's just exactly Dark Souls 1. Like it's
so great. In a bad way though?
No, in a really good way. Like
I feel like the time difference makes it okay, but better question, what are some of the things that are notably different aside from it looking better?
So weapon arts is an entirely new feature. It's it lets you know how in Bloodborne you had the trick weapons?
Mm-hmm.
So weapon arts it's not similar, but it's sort of like the Dark Souls 3 version of that, where they let you do these cool skills with different weapons, and every weapon has a different skill. Every shield actually has a different skill too. So some shields you can parry with, some shields you can use your weapon skill like immediately. And so like an example, like the reinforced club, I think it has Warcry is its skill. So you do this like stomp that actually stuns enemies in the immediate vicinity, and then I think your attack power goes up, and you just kind of go nuts, like swinging really fast.
That's really cool.
So you can do these cool.
I hope that doesn't make it too easy.
I don't think so. No,
I mean there's that,
Yeah.
and then there's like magic. There's actual casting and spells.
Yeah, you have a mana bar now, like in Demon Souls.
So now you're managing health, stamina, and mana all at once.
I remember it was green. I think in Demon Souls the mana bar is green. I remember that damn bar.
Oh no, I think blue.
Is it?
Yeah, your stamina bar is green.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right, it is too.
But demons did have magic.
Yeah.
And then Dark Souls did not.
Yeah.
So now they're like, it's Demon
Dark Souls had
now.
magic, but it was like limited spell casts.
Yeah, but you didn't have like mana.
Yeah, and so in Dark Souls 3 you also have Ashen Estus flasks, which is for recovering that. Yeah.
It sounds
I didn't really
great.
I didn't use magic that much because I played as a knight because I like the heavier
sword
builds.
and board.
Yeah, but one thing I noticed is your roll is really fast. The only way that I could slow my roll down was to equip like multiple weapons in the second and third slots.
Why would you want to slow it down?
I
roll a lot when I play Dark Souls.
I mean, you wouldn't. I'm just like one thing that made me a little bit nervous in early builds of Dark Souls 3 that I had played was we didn't have access to stats or inventory, so I didn't know if equipment load was still a thing. And I just wanted to make sure that you could still tank if you wanted to, you know, like put on that hovel armor and just no rolling, just shields, just great shields or whatever. But yeah, I mean the quick roll is nice. It's about as fast as Demon Souls. Everybody keeps saying Bloodborne, but I keep saying it's not as fast as Bloodborne, because it doesn't have that like. It doesn't encourage you to be as aggressive as Bloodborne
is
did.
just so
I feel like
overtly
Bloodborne's
aggressive.
a different game.
Yeah, completely.
Like all of the combat in Demon Souls, Dark Souls, I think people talking about it being hard, I don't necessarily think it's hard. I just think it's unforgiving.
It's
like
just a different pace.
It is, and you have to preempt things. You have to like dodge attacks before they even land, or before they even swing, just to make sure that you're okay. Whereas
it's
Bloodborne
just
kind of
really
wants you to be
intense
more
problem
solving. Because
it is.
And Bloodborne was designed for that because like with the rally system, it encourages you to like get that HP back. You know, don't just fall back. Whereas in Dark Souls, if you take a big hit, you want to fall back.
You want to run away.
And so that's the same in Dark Souls 3. There's nothing there that's like telling you to be reckless. Like
there's actually like very few other games that I can think of where I've come across a boss and been like and fled.
Yeah.
Like I talk about Dragon's Dogma a lot because I really like it, and it came out on PC recently, so I played it again. But Dragon's Dogma, there's parts of that game where I would come across something that I couldn't fight, and then I would leave and level up and then come back. Whereas Dark Souls, it wasn't like that. It was like I was at the right level, I just wasn't playing well. So it's like I
hadn't developed the skills and dexterity
to solve this. All my gear was
this.
fine. I could do it. It's just that like either I wasn't in the right mindset, I wasn't in like the rhythm, I wasn't having a good day. It was like I'm just gonna leave and then come back to this, not because the gear was tough, it was bad, just because I couldn't do it. And I actually can't think of any other game that's done that to me, where I've been like, nope, I need to rethink this.
Right.
And that's so cool.
I love it so much. One thing I do want to bring up. So I did get to play for 4 hours, and they stopped me around when they didn't want me to see anything past
you
where
were
I had
so much
to.
farther ahead than everyone else at that event. I looked at your screen, and I was like, she's in a different world right now. Like everyone else is stuck in this weird like walled garden area, and I was like, they're
I'm just a
very
pro.
behind.
Just kidding.
You are very good at video games.
But One thing that still stands out, though, is that I did not see everything that there was to see in that demo. I'm seeing other people's footage that maybe they went down a different path than I did in the same area, in like Undead Settlement. Like, that area is so huge, so winding. There are so many like shortcuts, nooks and crannies that I didn't explore. Like, and I'm actually really happy that I didn't see anything, because if I was able to see everything in, you know, the hour and a half I spent in Undead Settlement, like, that would have been super disappointing.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that was Dark Souls 2's problem, is you went through an area and that was it. Like, there was
you
no
would just
density
clear it
to that
out.
game.
Exactly. It's so dense, so layered, and like I still have so much more to see, and I'm really excited about it.
Me too.
Yay.
I'm gonna play that game. I'm gonna play it on PC because I believe it releases day and date. I'm gonna fact check this on PC.
April 12th. Right?
Pretty sure. Come on, internet. Go
I think it might be 11th.
What?
Really?
That would be the
Well,
worst.
maybe a little bit earlier.
Same day, April 12th. April 12th all
Nice.
around.
I think Marty said that to me as well. So
Marty is a
basically,
liar.
Marty
Marty's a
lies.
liar.
Don't listen to anything he says.
He's at McBiggity on Twitter. I am at MitchD. Alana is at Charlanazard. Do you want to spell that?
Just put in CHARA and then
Alana. And then it'll come up.
Mm-hmm.
Chloe is just Chloe Red? No, you're an underscore.
No,
at the
I'm
front.
at _ Chloe. CHLOI.
Nailed it.
Nice.
We're going to have a whole bunch of Vive stuff coming up soon. Now that we have one in the office, we're going to have more previews. It's a pre-model, so it's preview content. No reviews coming just yet. We'll have to wait for the actual retail release to happen, and we'll get some final codes for some big old vidgies. We'll have some reviews for those. What's everybody else working on right now? What are you working on? You got some cool stuff? Your super hot review is live. We talked about that.
It is, because I'm the toys editor. I've also been working on a feature about it's really cool Star Fox figure that just came out, and sometime this week or next week we will have a feature up about this awesome Zelda cosplay wedding where like the bride was a kind of bride version of Zelda and the groom was dressed as like Dark Link.
So cute.
I love that.
Yeah, it was very nice.
He just somersaulted all the way down the
I mean,
aisle.
he's not actually Dark Link. He's just like wearing a black tunic, but all of the groomsmen are also wearing like different versions of Link's tunic.
That's great.
It's very sweet.
That's very cute.
I'm reviewing a game for PC. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what game it is yet, but started up last night. It crashed immediately. Then I tried to quit out, and it wouldn't let me open my task manager, and it locked my cursor. So we'll see how that goes.
Wow.
Maybe
Reviewing
I'll,
games is really cool
maybe I'll
sometimes.
terrible.
talk about it next week.
Cool.
Wow.
Let's not say for now, just in case. Cool. Maybe we'll get Chloe back to talk about that next week.
Yeah,
When's your
hopefully.
embargo? Can you talk about that at all?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk
see.
about that video game
To be
at a later
continued.
date. Cool. Thank you so much for joining me, Alana, Chloe. My name is Mitch. We'll see you guys next week.